Hey guys, what's going on? So in today's video, we're going to talk about capacity of somebody's metabolism to lose body fat. Check it out. Alright, so let's talk about goals for a second here. When somebody comes to me and they say, hey Ryan, I want to get to this goal of fat loss specifically. And whether that's, just to lose 20 pounds of body fat, 10 pounds of body fat, get in physique competition, condition, and hit the stage, whatever it is. There's always a thing that I'm looking at, and that is, does this person have the capacity to attain the goal that they want to? So let me demonstrate. So we've got this water bottle right here, right? So it's about half full. So imagine that this water bottle is your metabolism, okay? It's what you have inside you, okay? And once we start losing body fat, what we have to do is we actually have to start dumping out of this water bottle, okay? Because we're going to create a deficit. Losing body fat is simply a calorie deficit, all right? So what we want to do is we dump this out so we can create the calorie deficit. However, there is only a finite amount of water in this bottle. Once it's gone, it's gone. We're not going to find anything more to dump out here. So if the goal is to lose 20 pounds of body fat, okay, we only have this much fluid to pour out of this thing to hit that goal. So we start pouring and we start pouring, and once this gets to the bottom, if we haven't hit our goal, well, we're in trouble, right? So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we start with a full container of fluid, okay? A full capacity container, or your metabolism is at the peak. And what I mean by that is there's two basic ways to lose body fat or create that calorie deficit, okay? The first is your intake, okay? This is the food that you take in, specifically the calories you take in, okay? So obviously, to create that deficit, one tool is to reduce intake, okay? Eat less, take in fewer calories, create that calorie deficit. Well, going back to that water bottle analogy, there's only a finite amount that you can do that without completely, destroying your metabolism or starving, okay? Your body will lower its metabolism because it doesn't like the process of losing body fat, okay? It wants to protect against starvation. So even when we do specific things to help minimize that, it's going to happen, okay? So what we want to do is we want to make sure at the beginning that intake is as high as possible. So if somebody comes to me, again, they've got a goal, and we start looking at their intake, and right now their intake is not high enough to support that kind of a deficit, the process it's going to take to get down to where they want to be, that's a problem, okay? So that's the first part of it. The second part of capacity, besides input, is output, okay? Now, output is just another way to say activity level, okay? So to create that calorie deficit, because remember, that's what it takes, is to burn more calories throughout the day. So similarly to the intake, we're looking at their output. And so, increasing the activity, whether that's lifting, whether that's cardio, the right answer is usually a combination of both. That's what we can increase to improve or make a larger deficit. But if somebody is already, training 7 days a week, 2 to 3 hours at a time, doing, a ton of cardio, they're killing it in the gym, and then they want to, on top of that, they want to hit these specific goals. Well, there's again only a finite amount of activity you can increase to create that deficit. So similarly to, making sure their intake's high enough, we also want to make sure that our activity level is low enough so that we can create that deficit. So what I'll do is we'll actually say, hey, you know what? This is a great goal, but we need to get you to the starting point to where you can hit that goal. What that means from an activity standpoint is doing less, completely dropping out cardio, minimizing the lifting, the activity, or, don't treat lifting like cardio, okay? Use it for what it's for, which is for building muscle and strength. So when you're starting out and you're setting goals, a big part of it is making sure you have the capacity to hit them. That sets you up for success. So when I'm working with a client, we'll go through that, and the first step sometimes is we need to get that capacity. We need to fill up this water bottle. So we'll actually increase intake, maintain body fat or minimize the body fat gain, decrease activity levels, setting somebody up for success. So then that way when we flip that switch, they can actually see results and they can actually get to where they want to be. Obviously, if you've got, bigger goals as far as losing body fat, you're going to be in that deficit longer, you're going to have more capacity. The other option is making your goal smaller, okay? Instead of losing just 20 pounds of body fat, maybe it's just 5 or 10, okay? Less capacity needed, get to that point, reset, fill up the bottle, fill up the capacity, and then repeat the process. The longer you're in a deficit, the longer you're going to have to work on increasing that capacity. It's the whole idea behind reverse dieting. After you get to a certain point, you've got to increase that intake, you've got to decrease that output so you can set yourself up for long-term success. So, hope that makes sense. Think of a water bottle. I like to use that analogy because I think it's a good one. Appreciate you guys watching this. Thanks for the support. You'll like this. Put comments below and stay tuned for more videos. We'll talk to you guys soon.